Hey there, YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about Ambi safeties. This one is by Cmmg. So Cmmg, they're known for making kind of more of a mid-range AR-15s, and they make a ton of parts. So I figured I would try their Ambi safety, and I'm going to let you know kind of what I think about it. I currently have this on a Spikes Tactical billet Snowflake lower. As you see, you have your unicorn, and you have your safe space libturd, or safe space triggered and libturd on here. Kind of funny. I'm going to briefly touch on this trigger. I have not tested this trigger yet, so I'm just letting you know the review's mostly going to be on this, the Ambi safety. So, how much did I pick it up for? About, I want to say you can find these between 18 and 26 bucks, so they're fairly cheap and an affordable option. However, now let's get into the cons about this trigger. Sorry about that. I'm used to talking about triggers. Let's get into kind of the cons, the pros about this this ambidextrous safety. So kind of there's really only one pro I like, and it's pretty simple to install. It is 90 degrees safety. On this particular one, you cannot change the throw. Now, as you see, probably noticing, this is where my issue is starting to be with it. Now, it does not like this billet receiver or this trigger. Now, I'm going to swap this. I'm going to give this one another try and possibly put this in a more of a standard mil-spec trigger and a mil-spec, just a standard GI trigger, because the issue I am having with it, and by the way, this is Loctite-tighted too. Comes with a screw, you can Loctite it, totally fine. The issue I'm running into, number one, is the main one is this. I want you to watch. There is no defined. It's just loose as heck, and I'm just gonna do that because you're gonna watch. I'm gonna flip it a little bit. Let me get it in the light. Let me try to get it to focus. Alright, let me just adjust the light. Sorry about that, people, because I want you to see this. Okay, so there's really no defined, and then I hit here, kind of, and as you see, it's notches right here, 45 degrees. I go up a little farther, it's not true 90 degrees, and releases the trigger. Just to kind of let you know, also, this is like a second safe when it's over here. So it doesn't really flip like it should. Now, I've taken out detent, kind of the detent pin that's in the back here in the magazine, or in the pistol grip, sorry about that, and the spring. I have already swapped it out. I have kind of reset. I've taken this out and swapped sides, put one side on the other, and it still is doing this. It does not like this at all. And I'm thinking this could just be finicky with single stage triggers. So I'm going to be giving this a shot with in a standard GI trigger that is mil-spec, that I have plenty of those because I'm more of a fan of single stage triggers. So kind of I bought this to give this a try on this build. It's not liking this particular billet receiver. Now I'm going to be uninstalling this and putting in something else, just so that you're aware, and I'm going to try it in a different lower receiver. So, kind of the difference between, this is a billet, Spikes Tactical, the Snowflake, it's pretty cool. I'm going to be giving it a try in this one. Now, this is a billet receiver, also made by Spikes Tactical. However, you can notice the size, kind of if you compare the two side by side. Let's go like that. Compare the two side by side, and you'll notice the Snowflake, this one here. If you look at it, this one looks a lot slimmer. So I'm wondering if this is kind of a factor. Now, if you look down into the magazine, this doesn't help because I have the trigger installed. I'm wondering if maybe since this design is a little slimmer, for a billet receiver, this is definitely a lot, what's the word I'm looking for? It feels a lot smaller, shorter than this, which is also, It is what it is. And if it doesn't work in kind of a billet receiver like that, the more slimmer one from Spikes, then I'm going to try putting it in this, my peasant build, which is kind of, it's an Anderson lower. By the way, I've heard all the jokes, but I figured I will try this in a budget, this little budget build, which I tend to put parts I don't like on this build because it's better than just sitting around. And I have 2 Anderson lowers I bought when I first started getting into this hobby. So just kind of letting you know, that's why I have this budget lower and budget kind of option. So what else it has? It has a oversized mag release on this snowflake, and I also picked up a blue buffer tube, keeping with the blue themed. I kind of like, this is just more of a fun build, to be honest. I figured different colors kind of fit the snowflake build. So this Ambi safety, as you see, this Ambi safety by Cmmg is kind of a no-go. I can move this all around. It kind of sucks, to be honest with you. And again, this is one of the reasons why. Now, you can kind of see where some people have had it work good. Other people, and there's other reviews where this thing is like, they find it's too light, they find it's too loose. I don't see it being loose. I find this to be very snug into this receiver, to be honest with you. However, I don't like how it doesn't have a defined from safe to fire. Now, granted, I can do it. It's just, it doesn't have like the click. Oh, you're on fire now. And I figured I would try this a little bit and try to break it in. However, it's just not working for me, and it's really not liking this billet lower, and it doesn't like the triggers. So I'm not going to fault this Cmmg yet. I'm just gonna let you know, when it comes to these budget Ambi safeties, kind of billet receivers, like as you see, this one is it's not as thick as this one, and yet they're the same multi-caliber kind of style. They're both multi-cal. They're both by the same company. However, this one is a little bit slimmer than this one. So I'm going to see if really this has a difference, if this is making a difference. I'm also going to see if, again, if a stock GI trigger that comes in most every parts kit that you order, if these safeties are just particular to that. If it doesn't work in this, which with this one, full disclosure, I'm going to be kind of making this in a 20-inch barrel. I want a 20-inch barrel on it, and I'm going to make this kind of a modern, not really a clone correct, but it's going to be kind of a modern version of the M16 clone. So, again, I'm going to try it in this. If it doesn't like this lower, then I'm going to try this in the peasant build, in this kind of the small with parts that I don't like. So, kind of the Cmmg, again, you can find these for about $18 to $29.99. Like I said, they're cheap. Cmmg is known for making decent parts for the price. However, when it comes to their Ambi safety, just letting you know, this was one that everyone recommended, and yet you can check out the videos. I'm not the only one with the problems with it. I find this to sit snug. I find this comfortable to actuate. However, I don't like that there's no defined kind of space. There's no defined click from safe to fire. And then when you go over to here, this acts as another safety. When you're on, what would be normally as burst or full auto, if you had that paperwork for. But with this, it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. And again, it's supposed to be a 90 degrees. However, I can shoot it at about, let's see, go up like right about there. So there you go, guys. First take on the Cmmg Ambi safety. Just letting you know. Not a fan so far, but we'll see if it, we're going to kind of try this and see if it just likes GI stock triggers once I put one in this. And then we're going to give it a try. If it doesn't work in this, a slimmer billet lower, we're going to try this in a peasant build. what I call my budget-friendly build. I call it my peasant pores build, or my first time, this was the first one lower I put together, because I wanted to see if I'd get into the hobby. Anyway, people, I will be doing updates to see if it works, if I find it just doesn't like this trigger by Rise Armament. So, anyway, people, that's my review on the Cmmg Ambi Safety. If you like this video, just like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you hated it, well, leave a comment and subscribe anyway so you can hate all my videos. So, anyway, people, check you later. This is the Tactical Parts Review.